Welcome to the channel if it's your first time here, and welcome back if it's not. Now in today's video we're going to be looking at these kinds of devices. Now if you've seen some of my fix-its before, you might have seen these crop up, and essentially they are devices that allow you to play backed up copies of your old retro gaming collection on your console. Now you can get these for pretty much any retro console. I've got one here for the SNES, one here for the Master System, this one's for the Game Boy, and this one is for the Game Gear. And pretty much most of them have some kind of SD card inside them, or a micro SD card, and you can get game ROMs of your games that you've backed up and put them on there, and you can run your games through here. But in today's video, I'm going to show you how you can use these to help you fix a console. Because the beauty of these things are, as well as being able to put games onto your console, you can also put diagnostic software onto them. So that means that they can run a series of diagnostic tests. So if you've got a console that's sort of working, it might help you pin down a more specific area of fault. All of these I've picked up on AliExpress, and you can get them for pretty much any console going, and the prices do vary depending on the console and how technologically advanced they are. What I'll do is I'll make sure I stick a link to all of these ones in the video description, and also I'll put some coupon codes in between my hands on the screen so you can get some money off if you decide to purchase one of these. Now just remember that the coupon codes do have an expiry date on them, which is shown on the screen, and I can't go back and alter the video once it's out. But what you can do is, if you look at the video description, I'll try and ensure that there are some up-to-date coupon codes in the video description as well, if you're watching this much more into the future. Now obviously these diagnostic things do rely on the console sort of working, so they won't help you if you've got something that's completely dead. But if you've got something like maybe with a screwed up output, or there's a sound issue, or you've got something with some corrupt graphics or something like that, it might help push you in the direction and show you what the fault could possibly be. And I'm going to quickly demonstrate it using this one here, which is a Everdrive for the Super Nintendo, the SNES, the Super Famicom, whatever you call it. And I'm going to show you how you can actually use the software that comes with it to help you diagnose issues with a Super Nintendo. Now this one is unique because it's got a test ROM built into it, but the others do require you to search for the test ROMs, and there's loads of forums where you can pick them up where people have basically either made their own homebrew test ROMs or used manufacturer-based ones. But yeah, a quick Google will pretty much find you test ROMs for most consoles going. But it's really helpful with this SNES one because they've actually put it on the included micro SD card. And I'll show you how you find it, because it's a little bit tricky and it's in Chinese. Now the first thing I needed to do to find the test ROM on this cartridge was I needed to pop out the micro SD card and put it into my computer. Once it was in my computer, there is a Chinese text file that lists all the ROMs that are on this cartridge, which there are thousands. And so I just used a simple find tool in the text editor for test. And I found two results. One was I think test drive, and the other was the test ROM. And if we look there, that test ROM has a number. We need to remember that number because, well, you'll see why in a second. Yeah, once we have done that, we can put the micro SD card back into the cartridge and get out our Super Nintendo that we want to test. Right, so I've got my SNES set up. We've got our Everdrive cartridge in. So in theory, we should be ready to go. Now, this is a working SNES, so hopefully we shouldn't find any issues with it. But I'm just gonna show you how the test software works, and we're gonna have a quick look at it. And if you do have a slightly faulty SNES, it could help point you in the right direction. But like I say, you can get test ROMs for pretty much any console going. I'm just using the SNES as an example, and it's a really good example because it actually comes with the testing software. Right, so let's power on our SNES. Lovely stuff. So I've got my monitor here so I can see things, but I'll also put some of this on screen so you can see what's happening. Right, so we need to first of all do select game. Now this is showing the root of the memory card that's in the top of this. So we need to go into ROMs game, and there are lots of different folders because there are thousands of ROMs. And I think the file system only allows a certain number of the files to be in each folder. So we need to go into ROMs 5. So we're looking for that number that we remembered earlier, 1262. So if you press the left and right, it allows you to scroll through. There we go. And if we press the start button, that'll load it into the memory of the cartridge. So it turns it into that cartridge essentially. And there we go. We're into the Super Nintendo test ROM. And this is actually what Nintendo used at the factory to test the Super Nintendo out. So we have to use the select button to cycle through. Let's do an electronics test, for example. So press start to select it. There you go, the screen flashes a few times and it passes the electronics test. So if there were any issues on the electronics of the system, it would tell you. Excellent. And we can also test the sort of graphical system of it. So if we press select and go into character test, we've got to look for clear images moving across the screen and everything looks clear. And it's just testing all the different modes. So it can help diagnose issues and point you towards problems that there might be. Again, all looking pretty good there. And also, it's kind of cool to see the stuff that Nintendo used in the factories to test the consoles. It gives you sort of like a little behind the scenes glimpse. Now it's testing the Mode 7 graphics, which flip things and spin things. It's so cool. There we go. So it's run through that test. Everything seems fine. But it's really good for finding issues with the controller as well. Because if you buy a controller and there might be issues with it, you can actually do a full test of a controller so you know it's completely working. So let's move down to the controller test. There you go. So it's telling you which button to press. So we'll press up, press left, press down, press right, press them both up together, press them down together like that. There we go. Press select twice to exit. Doot, doot. And it also allows you to test the sound system, which is super smart. Test the right channel. There you go. That's my right channel.
This is your right channel. Right.
And then press B to do the left channel.
This is your left channel.
That's so cool. I mean, you could even test that your cable is working correctly as well, which is just mad. Now, obviously, this is the Nintendo branded hardware tester, and the ones that you can download online for the different systems, they vary so much. You can go like proper nerdy. I know the Master System one of them actually tests all the different addresses to the processor, and it takes ages to go through, but it really helps you sort of wheedle down specific faults. And I just love that you can now get these things and put them onto cartridges like this and load them into the console and then test the consoles. There's so much that you can do with these, and I wanted to show you that they're not necessarily just for nefarious reasons. You can pop the SD card out, put whatever homebrew stuff onto it for that specific console, and then load it and work it. But I like the fact that this one comes with some testing software on it already. So yeah, that was a really quick video. I hope it's been helpful for you. If you find any awesome test ROMs for different consoles or even the Super Nintendo, let me know in the comments section, and that hopefully will help other people find good testing ROMs for their different consoles. Yeah, I think that's it for now. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. But for now, it's game over.